Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Let's make something oh so fantastic. Y'all stay tuned. Tis the season, guys, and you can never do enough Christmas crafting. We can never have enough in our homes, at our craft fair tables, on our desk at work, wherever. We can always add a touch of Christmas cheer, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. Here is today's fantastic project. It is a mailbox for our Christmas cards, our letters to Santa, whatever it is we might want to put in here. This thing is awesome. Absolutely awesome. The back is 7.5 inches high. The front is 6.5 inches high. And the sides measure 2 1/4 by 4.5 high. And it sits on a little base. And I absolutely love how this turned out. And you guys can see just how gorgeous this is. So festive, so easy to make. And we're going to make it right now. So let's get started. So let's go over the supply list very quick. The first thing that we're going to need is a piece that measures 12 by 9.5. And then we have another piece that measures 7.5 by 9.5 of the same paper. Then we're going to have some chipboard pieces. We're going to have a tall chipboard piece that measures 6 by 7.5. Our front chipboard piece that measures 6 by 6. Our base that measures 6 3/8 by 2 3/4. And then we'll have two side pieces that measure 2 1/4 by 4.5. And then we're going to have a scrap piece that's left over from this piece that measures 4.5 by 9.5. And we'll be using this to cover the base piece. So then we have 4 inside liner pieces that we'll be working with. We have 2 that measure 2 1/4 by 4 1/8. We have one that measures 7 1/4 by 5 3/4, and then we have one that measures 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So let's go ahead and get started. So to begin, we're going to take the 12 by 9.5 piece and the 7.5 by 9.5 piece and add some tape so that we can join these two together. And I have added 2 strips of 1/4 inch tape. So basically I'm laying down a 1/2 inch strip of tape. And all I'll do is take this and place it on top. Just like that. So we've got that prepped. So now we need to go ahead and prep the 2 pieces of chipboard that we're going to be working with. And this is going to actually be a very easy process. So we're going to take the chipboard, and on the 6-inch side, we will place our ruler. And then we'll come back with a pen or a pencil. We're going to make a mark at 1 and a mark at 5. And this is on the 6 by 7.5 inch piece that we're doing this. So then we'll turn it to the side. And we are going to position our ruler. And then we'll come down and we'll make a mark at the 1 1/2 inch point. And we'll turn it to the other side and do the exact same thing. So I am going to get this set up at the 1 1/2 inch mark. And then I'll make my mark. And then I'll come back and I'll take my ruler. I'm going to place it on my marks. And for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to make tracer points so you guys will see what I'm doing. And I'll do the same thing over here. Then I'm going to come back with my finger blade, and I'm just going to cut this out. And then I'll turn it and do the same thing over here. And now this side is good. We'll bring in the 6 by 6 piece, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to take it and place it down. And we're going to make a mark at 1 and a mark at 5. Then we'll turn it to the side. And we're going to make a mark at 1.5 inches. And then I'll come back with my ruler. And since you guys saw me put down the mark on the other one, I don't need to do that on this one. I am just going to come back and cut out. And I'll do the same thing over here. So I'm going to just put it down and cut out. And now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and place tape all over this board. So I am going to lay down my tape and I will be right back. Alright guys, so I have put the tape on all of my chipboard pieces, and now we're going to lay them down on that long piece of decorative paper that we joined together. So I am going to start with my 6 by 7.5 inch piece. I am going to take that and about 1 inch from the top, I'm going to lay it down. And then I'm going to come back with my piece that measures 2 1/4 by 4.5, and I am going to place that down using about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. Then I'll come back with my 6 by 6 piece, and I am going to place that down using about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. And then I'll bring in my last 2 1/4 by 4.5 inch piece, and I am going to place that down using about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. And then I'm going to come back with my finger blade, and I am just going to remove some of my excess paper, and I am going to bring it down to about, 1/2 inch. And then what I'm going to do here is I am going to come on this side as well, and we're going to take off down to about 1/2 inch. And then for this section here, we are going to start cutting out this shape with our finger blade or our scissors. And I am going to use my finger blade, so I am going to cut in, and when I get to the edge of this piece, I'm going to stop, and then I will bring it up, and I'm simply going to trace out these pieces. And that just makes it easier for us to be able to put this together. So one of the things that I'm going to recommend, guys, if you have not done any projects like this before, please practice on some old cardboard, old paper that you don't mind wasting if you mess up. But you seriously need to practice before you commit your good paper and your good chipboard to a project that you've never done before. And that's true for any project. Always make sure that you practice, but especially for this one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and we're going to have to do a whole bunch of bending, because we have got to bend every part of this project. So we have got to go around each one of these little pieces, and we have got to create a bend. So what I'm going to do here is I need to come in just a little bit so I can create a cut there. And then I'm going to come in here and create a cut here because I need to bend those over. And then I'm going to come in right in here and create a cut here as well. So basically all we're going to do is we are folding over everywhere that we've got a piece of chipboard. Now, what we're going to do is, I'm going to start with this piece first so you guys can see how I'm doing this. Basically what I'm going to do is I am going to stand this up, get a really good fold on this way. Then I'm going to take this piece, get a really good fold on it this way, and I'm going to do it over here as well. And what this does is it is going to give me, really hard to see, but when I fold this way and I fold this way, I get this little V here. And I am going to take my pen and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I have a V there, a line there, and a line there. That's what I want to cut out. So I'm going to come back with my blade, and I'm going to cut that out so that when I fold this over just like that, everything's going to fold nice and neat. So over here, I'm doing the same thing. So I'm bringing it up, folding it over, and then I get that V. So I'm going to come in at the point, and then I'll come over, and we'll have it just like that. And then we can take our tape or our glue, whichever one we want to use, and we can put this down. So I'm going to go ahead and take my glue on this piece here. I'm going to fold it over, and we're going to start getting this stuck down. So then I'm going to fold this piece over. We'll get that stuck down. And then I'm going to come back with my scissors because I can nip off just a little bit of this. And then I'll take my glue, put my glue there, and we're going to bring that up and get it folded over. And then we're going to just smooth everything out so that it's nice and neat. Okay, so we've got that section done. Let's go ahead and do this section here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold down, fold over, and this side I'm going to do a little bit differently because this is going to be my glue flap. So I'm basically going to just cut up and over just like that, and I'll place glue on this piece and fold it over. But I'm going to come back just a little bit and remove a little bit of this because I could see where it was going to be in the way. So now I'm going to fold that over. Come back with my bone folder, and let's get everything smoothed down. And this is the step that we just have to repeat all the way across this board. So we're going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to take this piece, and let's see if I need to remove any. I do need to remove just a little bit of this. So I'm going to notch this out. And now I see that I can take this piece, get my glue on it, and we're going to get that folded over. And then I'll come back with my bone folder, and we're going to have to work this piece because this is where my fold is. So we're going to get that folded down. I'm going to pull out. And now we'll come back over here. And now on this piece, we're going to fold it over just like we did the other piece. So we're going to create that little V. So we'll come into the point, and then we will cut down just a little bit. And now we can take our glue and we can fold over. So basically, guys, what you're doing is whenever you're trying to fold the paper and it wants to resist, that is where you need to make your cuts. Because we're basically just having to fold everything over so that we can have a nicely finished top. So I'm doing the same thing here. So we're going to always cut from the point. So there's the point of this piece. And we're going to have a line, and we'll just draw straight through that line. And then next to that line, you're going to see another line. And it's going to be like that. And that is what we cut out. So I'm going to cut this piece out. And cut this piece out. So when I fold it up just like this, I've got it closed. So I'm going to bring my glue, bring this up, and get that stuck down. Then I'm going to turn my paper, do the same thing over here. So I'm going to find that V point. And again, it's going to start with the actual point itself. And there's a line that comes out from the point, and you'll see it. So when we do this, there's going to be a line, And this time the point is over here because of how I folded it. So you'll see your point line there, and then you'll see the second line next to it. So I'll come in and I am going to cut this out. And then when I fold this up, I know that I can remove just a little bit of this. It's not going to hurt me to take a little bit off. So now I'll bring this piece up and we're going to fold this in. Come back with our bone folder. We're going to get this stuck down. And now we've got this piece to do because we've got a point here and the paper doesn't want to do right. See how it doesn't bend right? So we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to get that point. There's my point. And then again, the way that I fold it, my second point is right there. So I'll come back, remove that. And now we are almost in the home stretch of this part of the project, which, by the way, is probably the most time-consuming part of the project. So now we're here at the bottom. And this part is going to be very simple because this is normally how we miter. So we'll come back and we're just going to cut through just like this. And then I'll take my glue, put it on this piece. And I'm going to fold this over, come back with my bone folder, and we're going to get this stuck down. And then we're going to turn it to this side over here. And this is our glue flap. So I am going to just come back and cut in at an angle, basically miter cutting. So now we can take this long piece and we can truly put this together. So I just did a little bending, and now I'm going to bring my glue all the way from there to here and get this glued up well. And then I will fold everything over, and I'm just going to go section by section and get this stuck down. Okay guys, so this is what we have. And now we need to come back and we are going to put down some 1-inch strips because we've got this part showing here and we don't want that. So I am going to come back with my tape because I don't want to put any glue in my seam because it might weaken it. So I am just going to bring my tape in and I am going to place tape on each one of my joint pieces. Okay, so now that my tape is up, I have some strips that measure 1 by 4 1/8, and I am simply going to place some glue on these and get them stuck down, just like this. And this just helps with continuity, keeps everything looking nice and tight and right. Okay guys, so I have placed my 3 1 by 4 1/8 inch strips, and we are going to take this board and set it to the side for a moment because we need to make pieces to fit the inside. So here I have my piece that measures 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and what I am going to do is take my ruler, position it, and I'll come back and I am going to make a mark at 1, and then I'm going to make a mark at 4 3/4. Then I am going to turn it to the side and make a mark at 1 1/2. Doing the same thing that I did on the chipboard, just a different measurement here. And then on this side, going to make another mark at 1 1/2. I will take my ruler and then I'll bring my finger blade. I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to remove this. And I'll bring in my piece that measures 7 1/4 by 5 3/4, and I am going to do the same thing. So on the 5 3/4 inch side, place my ruler down, make a mark at 1, and make a mark at 4 3/4. Then I'll turn it to the side position it at 1.5, make my mark, turn it here, find my 1.5 inch point, make a mark, and I'm going to come back with my blade and just remove the excess. And then we'll bring our board back in, and this should fit right in there very nicely, and it does. So I am going to take my glue. You can use tape on this. I am going to use glue because it's here and it's quick and it works. I'm going to place my reptile glue all over this board. Then I am going to take this and position it in place. Get everything nice and even. Come back with my bone folder and let's smooth this out. And then I'm going to take my strips that measure 2 1/8 by 4 1/4 and just place these down. And I am going to position them, making sure that I have them so that they are inside of my score marks. So I will put this down, making sure that everything looks nice. Then I will take that 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 inch piece that we angled out, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the larger piece. I am just going to saturate it in glue. Place this down, making sure that I get everything nice and centered. And I do have a little ball spot there, but I'm not going to worry about that because it is not a big deal. It will not stress me out. And then I will place my final piece. So when I place this one, I want to make sure that I cover up all of that chipboard that's going to show, because my glue flap is going to close on the outside. So now I'm just going to come back and make sure that all of my seams are ready to be folded, and they are. So let's stand this up. We are going to take our glue flap, which is right here, place some glue on it, and then we're going to bring it up and make sure that we're matching the bottom. I'm going to make sure I've got this nice and tight. And then all we have to do is get this stuck down. And now we have got the makings of a very beautiful, beautiful little mailbox. So we're going to set this to the side because we need to work on the bottom. So I'm going to bring my bottom piece in, and it measures 6 3/8 by 2 3/4. And then I have my leftover piece of paper that measures 4 1/2 by 9 1/2. I've already taped this, so I am simply going to take this, place it down in the middle, and then I'll just fold it up. And you could use a contrasting piece of paper if you wanted to. I just went with this because it was left over, and that just saved me the trouble of having to get out a fresh sheet of paper. So all I'm doing is mitering, so I can fold this over. And then I'll come back, and we're just going to bring all of these in. Come in with my bone folder. All right, so then I have a scrap piece that measures 6 1/8 by 2 1/8. And I am simply going to place glue on this, and we are going to use it to close up this gap here. And this will be on the bottom. So I'm going to take this, put it down, Come back with my bone folder. And then let's get this stuck down. And now I'll bring this back in because we are going to take this piece and make it the bottom. So what I want to do is I am going to come back with my glue, and I am just going to run a bead of glue along the bottom here, making sure that I get enough glue that this is going to stick. And my glue will dry clear. And then once I've got my glue on the bottom, I'm going to take this and just place it down. Try to get it nice and centered. And I'll check it on the back and I'll check it in the front. And I am pleased with that, guys. I am pleased. So I'm going to set this off to the side to dry, and I'll be back. All right, guys, so our box is dry enough to handle, and we are going to go ahead and put some paper strips on the side because I just want to break it up a little bit. And this strip measures 2 1/8 by 4 1/8. And I am going to just place this down with glue. So I am going to put my glue on the back. And then I'm going to turn this towards me so that I can make sure I'm getting it nice and even. And then I'll flip it over to the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to take my glue and get this glued. And then I'll just get this placed down. Just like that. I'm going to take a look at it to make sure that it's straight. And then I decided that that piece in there that's bald didn't sit well with me. So I am going to take a strip of the same paper, and we're going to fix this little mistake. So I'm just going to take my paper, place it on the inside, just like that. And I'll come back with my bone folder. I'm going to try to hold this up so you guys can see it. And hopefully y'all can see it. But that's how I'm going to fix it. And then I'm going to come back with a sticker sheet. And I think I'm going to go with the word joy. Put this back over here. And I'm going to take that and just put it right there in the top. Just make that all festive and stuff. And then I'm going to come back with my double-sided tape. And I am going to take my double-sided tape and run it all the way around this box. Because I am going to place down some ribbon, and then I'm going to place down a rosette. The last time I had my rosette in the middle. This time I am going to have the rosette right here towards the top. So I'm going to lift up my tape. And then I'm going to come back with this wonderful ribbon that I found at the Dollar Tree. And starting in the back, I am going to place it down. And I'm starting in the back because I want to end in the back. I want my seam of my tape to be in the back. So I'm just going to get this stuck down. Let me look at this. Got to bring this up to my face just to make sure. And then I am going to snip this off. And this time, I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to the back of this ribbon. And we'll make sure that it's stuck down. I don't know if you guys can hear those baby squirrels out there, but they are calling for mama. And this is how it looks on the front. So I am going to take this and I'm going to place this here. And the reason why I'm placing it right there is because I have a little rough edge there that I don't really like. And this is the way that we can mask our little imperfections. So now I am going to place this right there. Then I have this wonderful Santa. I think he's just so cute and so much fun. And I am going to place him right on top of that rosette. I think I'll place them at a little angle. And then the final thing that I want to do is I have these little Dollar Tree velvet-like ribbons, and they are just plain, but I decided I wanted to dress up a set. I bought 3 sets, and I wanted one to have little white dots in the center, so I placed some of my white pearls and did a whole sheet of them. And now I'm going to take this and just put it on the back side, and that just gives us a cute look to our box on the back as well as the front. So I'm going to put that right there. And don't you guys agree that that really does help to close off the back of this box? So let's take a look at this. I think that this is fabulous. I think I love it. And I hope that you do too. So guys, I'm going to bring in the other one so you can see these wonderful, wonderful little mail stations. They are perfect for holding Christmas cards, or if the kids are writing letters to Santa and you haven't had a chance to mail them yet, you can place them in here. And this is the perfect way to hold all of that Christmas mail that comes through before you have a chance to actually sit down and go through it all. And I hope that you guys are going to make some of these. And again, if you do, please practice before you commit any of your precious good paper, because it's not a hard project, but it's got a lot of moving parts and you can get tripped up on a few of them. So make sure that you practice. I would hate for you to ruin some really great paper. So guys, if you're planning on making some of these, I would love to hear about it in the comment section. Leave me a comment below if you think that you're going to make one of these. And I hope that you are. So I hope that you have liked these cuties. I hope that you have liked this project. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys have a great day. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.